Good morning. Happy New Year, everyone. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised. Markets are gapping higher after last week's decline. Uh, didn't expect it to gap above the high of the red bar, but this just tells us so far we're in for more of the same with these indecisive movements. Um, so just for, well, let me get this other thing out here that I can draw with. Uh, where are the drawing tools? Zoom. Okay, let's go down here. All right. So what's going on here? Well, let's start here. We had that nice run. We had the crazy price action last year. We had this deep retracement, this nasty wide range bar that took out these lows and that said, hey, it's going lower. And then the market does what it does. And it says, oh, wait a minute. It's the end of the year. We can't do that. So what we have going on here, and I'm drawing trend lines. What I'm drawing is to display the contraction in volatility. And so we see this kind of price action as uncertainty, just wide bars, overlapping bars, tails. It regroups, falls again, regroups, resistance at the prior pivot. They come in lower than that. And now it gaps up to here. So as every day, we see what the rest of the day brings after we put that the pre-market action in the context of what's occurring. So as we look at this price action, and this is overnight price action, of course, let me go to this here. And so prices are gapping up. Right. You got this little minor downward move that violated major support on the 65-minute chart. And now it's gapping up about there. And so this isn't marked as a pivot yet because, well, it'll never be marked as a pivot because it, according to the setting is, because you need three lower highs to the left and right. But this, in a lower time frame is some kind of a turn, and then it went down, and it certainly looked like it was going to be a down opening today. Looked like typically day to day, if there wasn't a weekend or a holiday, uh, this type of a trend would continue to go down to around here and try to turn around. So now we've got this gap up, and that's like, okay, let's do a reset here and see if prices can hold the gap up, which will take whatever amount of time to see what's going to happen this morning, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, a half hour, an hour, whatever, and see if this at some point can become a new pivot low, right? Because we've got three to the left here, and if the gap up, if it can continue to hold, and now it builds up some support to see, can we go back up, or is it just going to flip flop around here? So as you can see, there's no certainty about what I think is going to happen here because the pattern doesn't support any of that. And then we do our usual going looking in other places to see if it makes sense anywhere else. Before that, we just take a peek at the futures, and you can see the rally from that point that takes out the pivot high and prices. Beginning of the day, we don't know that this bar is going to look like, but so far, it's the same story. In essence, the same story of this indecisive price action has to be, as we look at the futures, is we get 24-hour view of it, and we got a bullish 180, and does it make a higher low? Do we get another higher low? Right, three higher lows. We got three lower highs, and at some point this week, does it break out of this apex or down? And what that suggests we do from the point of view of the daily chart is do nothing. Intraday, we just have to see how things shape up. And of course, we're talking about the broader markets. And, from there, we go to look at individual stocks to see what the story would be. So spiders, same, the day chart was heading down. For sure it's going to fill that gap or come down into here, and that's not happening. And it's gapping up almost to the top of the red bar. So a significant gap, but up into this resistance area. And this is right on the edge of what I'll call the day chart, this white area. And we can go look here. So gapping up right around over here into this resistance. So again, a message that puts us in the middle of nowhere. Well, this, as you know, the S&P's made a new all-time high. And I mentioned last week, well, I guess this week before the holiday, was interesting that the futures didn't make a new all-time high. Usually they lead, as futures traders tend to be a bit more enthusiastic, and futures leading the way. And then we see if the S&Ps catch up. In this case, oh no, this is leading the way. There's the 5-minute chart, and backing off a little bit, no big deal. Just a slow descent from the high, and it just opened up and just gap up there. I guess screw the shorts, screw those that own puts, thinking a gap down, which certainly looked like that was probable based on that price action. And now, bearish traders, they're losers. What can I say other than that? Today. Good morning, Andre, everybody. All right. So that was the decline, and it's gapping up here. Those are I'm kind of surprised in the sense that this number did not go up based on the gap up. So this is kind of, I don't even know how to explain, to tell you the truth. Just the markets opening up, resetting, because the pattern was supportive that it could go lower, or it would be a minor gap up, not a significant gap up like we're seeing here. But considering the gap up and the fact that this actually came down, it's like there isn't that much of a belief in this gap up. Right? In other words, there's just a lot of uncertainty out there still, and this number's way down here. And I have to believe that it's never going down there today with this type of a gap up. Rather, it would probably chop around within this area. Now, 6,900. I don't know if you heard or read about this article that came out over the weekend, and this thing's been floating around for a little while, about this guy that they called Captain Condor, that he had a strategy of doing condors on SPX. And rather than close the position, he was, from that point of view, if you remember the story about long-term capital management. He's like, if I'm wrong today, I'm that much closer to being right, and kept doubling down. And him and his little group, I don't know, I think he said about 1,000 people, lost like $50 million last week. So point I'm saying, I'm wondering, that was his position, which I read was enormous, based on SPX options, was maybe holding this thing around where it was. So maybe that's what released it. I don't know. I'm just sharing information that I read. But anyway, we look at these whole numbers, and can it get above 6,900 today? Does it fall back down? Maybe back toward 6850-ish or whatever. Anyway, it's just, I think, going to trade within that range, and we'll see what happens today. But with a put strike way down there, it should never go down there unless something's seriously wrong. Some news coming out. It was kind of interesting, if you also read, Trump backing off on furniture tariffs. So we're going to get more of the same. Of course, this year it won't be the same as last year, but we got more of the flip-flopping going on. All right. I didn't want that. I wanted the Russell, which has been under pressure. Started here, lower high, 50 MA. Let's look at the 65-minute, gapping up to resistance. So this appeared I mean, even the other day before we left here, it was a 5 minute chart. I know some of us in the room went long on this move up, and we wound up getting out. I mean, it's like it's not supposed to come back down here, and then it just kept going down. So, this basing, um, and so the speculative stocks, speculative point of view, which was prevalent here and at certain times during the year, was just being unfolded at the end of the year in December. So 50 MA there, and I was thinking, okay, it'll turn around here today, and now as we saw, it's gapping up to the top of the red bar. So short term, anyway, we see buying pullbacks or some sideways price action occurs for a short term long within this, lower high, higher low, and well, that's a lower low, but look, we're just coming into this year with a mess. That's the short answer to all of this. All right. And so there's the diamonds. That was the big down bar. It's gapping up. Same story as we looked everywhere else. Bitcoin still going nowhere. Well, that doesn't give us any clues. And Ethereum change. As I look at this, it's like, is it possible? Look, anything's possible, but we got a minor wide range bar and a little bit of a rounding bottom, a topping tail for the moment that's being ignored. Can this start to work its way up? Yes, it can. Or does it roll back down? So, and another market, another chart that doesn't lead us to a decisive point of view other than sideways or wide whippy. And there's another wide whippy. There's oil. Now it's moving down. Gold, as you know, had that shellacking. Came down hard. It's holding here for now. And anytime we get a wide range bar like that, it's communicating the potential to go lower. This isn't an uptrend. It's on support. It's stabilizing. And the way it came down creates what we call a void. This is building a base. Maybe it can start moving back up again. It's not gotten it all together just yet to think that. All right. We have silver, which is holding up much better and had a nice advance. Wide and whippy, more uncertainty. And let's see what interest rates are doing. Well, here's bonds, bond prices. They're down a little bit, more overlapping bars with tails. And as we discussed, we've got this topping pattern, broke below support, came back up again, and is just making a smaller consolidation. So this is one of the things we're looking for amongst all the others to see whether bonds are going to fall or rise from here, and of course, what are interest rates going to do? And here's the 10-year bottoming, price action, building a consolidation after taking out this resistance. And everybody's coming back from holiday, and it's like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. And there's the 30-year, which cleared that resistance much more decisively in a pattern that is more supportive to think interest rates are going to go up. The last thing I'll look at here is short-term interest rates, which continue to be in a downtrend, and we'll continue to hear, what's the Fed going to do? 1 cut, 6 cuts, no cuts. And here we go, 2026. For you, Dan.
Good morning. Happy New Year. Today is Friday. So end of the week, 0 DTE day. And Greg, when you were talking about Trump postponing tariffs for a year, my immediate first reaction was, here we go. He's starting to play politics for the midterm elections. And why postpone it an even year? Why not why not 3 months so he can continue negotiating? Tell you why, politics. He has this affordability problem, he has a healthcare problem that expired. So politics, big old gap up here. Semi is nice gap. So that would be an amazing zero DTE if we can. Maybe I'll watch it three. I don't know. See where it settles and then go to the option table. Like, oh, slob. My alarm went off up here, but now it's backing back down. So nothing. Just reset it. Turn negative, actually. Amazon did not trigger last week, but my alarm went off again this morning. It went off on Wednesday. Again, the days messed me up here. Yesterday, holiday. This was Wednesday. My alarm went off pre-market, but then never triggered. Went off here, pulling in. That's whipping around pretty good. But that's still, I like Whiskey Bravo, bottom right here. Bottoming pattern, gapping up. So gapping up, that's a pretty big gap. So I would not do 30-minute high. Instead, I want to pull back. VeriSign alarm. Oh, nice. We shorted this and it's been dead money. So my alarm went off, but all right, good. And I had ETHA there. I'll put VeriSign here. And ETHA, I like as a put spread. 30-minute high. VHT. Nothing. Circle, I like as a call spread under the week's low. And those look like all my alarms. There's no earnings. Let's just look at my interest list. AMBA, descending triangle. Is it either gonna turn here on support? Or is it a continuation in a downtrend? I don't know yet. But I'm watching it either way, but my up alarm went off. That's why I'm talking about it. SOC bottoming pattern, gapping at 1080. So that on a pullback with the SMHs. AMD looks great. That's a beautiful put spread. I'll put that here. AMD. Going sideways, flat 20, a little downside shakeout. Now gapping up, makes all this support. That looks great. As a put spread, not a directional. Hey man, I've been saying this, you could trade up or down, but now it's gapping over 2 red bars. So that's a put spread idea. Vert was a short watch, but now it's gapping up, so I'm going to delete it. Baidu, we were talking about this gap the other day, and I said a beautiful weekly, monthly. This was a buy on a pullback. Wow, it's gapping up here. I didn't check the news. That's monster. What's KWeb doing? 35, gapping up a little. Wow, that's a nasty downtrend. So Baidu is rocking. So these are some LI. These are some of the EV stocks reported sales. Look how the 20 MA is starting to flat. This could be the start of a higher low with the gap up. So that's a watch as a put spread. The other ones I didn't like. So I already deleted them, but Tesla gapping up here, also EV company, but the momentum down from a square top. That's not a good setup. And the furniture tariffs, here's a couple in that sector. Gapping up a little. Lazy Boy, Sam, talking about Lazy Boy. Gapping up a little with no pattern. Williams Sonoma, no pattern. RH 193, nothing. This one's the best of those. Oh, shoot, it's now ripping. I saw it pre-market at 103. And I'm like, that's a perfect gap to buy a 5-10 minute high. Still not too extended. So that one I'll still watch. Ideally, put spread again, kind of similar to that AMAT shelf. Put that in a window. Looks great. Whiskey. I mentioned hack on Wednesday, the sector rolling over, cybersecurity. So I scanned all those yesterday. Look at Pan W. I like that and I like that it's gapping up because then it's not going to trigger unless it's weak. I'll set an alarm at 185. Cyber, same, looks good. Continuation breakdown. Net, net. Net, I think I posted official as a short or a call spread. RBRK breakdown, gapping up. FTNT, that one's messier. Look at poor Zulu Sierra, it's in a death trend. Look at that thing, was $340. That's a nasty haircut. I'll set an alarm 225.50. Raytheon buy setup. Just waiting for the turn. Ideally, it comes in a little more ribbon. Alex mentioned Wednesday. It's a buy setup, not a clean one, and we don't have a clean turn, but I like the weekly monthly. So this, remember I mentioned this core long, I think we're right here at $15 with the monthly breakout. But it's still not too late. Even though it's rallied 30%. With that, ideally it just chops around, gives us a base and a more logical daily entry. AAP is weak. I like that it's gapping up. Yeah, Patrick, that's why I was looking at all those retail stocks. LIF, only up 2 cents. So this is a breakdown I like. That's good to go. Wednesday's low. PBF, bottoming pattern. That'd be a wonderful put spread, but spreading. BXP, Alex mentioned, beautiful short on Wednesday. See if we can get a 1, 2, 3. Lunar, it just needs to settle down, kind of similar to that ribbon. I like the weekly, monthly. Pen, I just had an alarm go off. We had this as a long over this WRB, but I canceled it because of deep retracement, but I kept it on my list. Let me make a new alarm. 15:02. Old marijuana, MSOS trying to make the turn. I'm watching. Slob we talked about. NRG cell setup. Actually, my alarm went off pre-market. So NRG is a sell setup. Maybe if it opens flat, maybe 5-minute low. Set an alarm 158.90. NRG. Yeah, 5-minute pattern. Yeah, could grind up to 200. Put it on the list. MSI, that was a nice breakout on Tuesday. Now it's a 123. I have an alarm at 385. Mr. That's the leverage one, Mr. Bitcoin was up, which drug this up a little bit, but that's just a nasty downtrend with bearish price action. I'm gonna set an alarm 153. But I wouldn't trade this in isolation without seeing what Bitcoin's doing. Circle we talked about, call spread under Wednesday's low. Cruise line, ideally makes a new low reversal. Silver and gold, Greg talked about. Reddit. Why am I looking at Reddit? I read some article, I guess, but there's no pattern. Oracle is a pattern. Looks like it can break up or down. So now that it's up, 5-minute high, maybe put spread. Let's watch that. And I mentioned Amazon, mentioned KC. We are short already. Opening flat and AMBA again. So I am perfect on timing. Less than a minute to go. Hey, AMBA's a nice gap. Look at AMD ripping middle chart here. Wow. So now if AMBA closes like this, as opposed to red and a big old topping tail, now I got the confidence that it's a reversal. So let's watch AMBA, Amazon, and AMD. This Amazon, let's wait 5-minute high because this thing just been acting weird. Zulu Sierra, still weak. Look, I gapped up and I had an alarm at 225.50. That's still weak. AC made a new low, still weak. We're already in this one. So let me set a new alarm. PayPal gapped up and is weak. Diamonds 5-minute are the weakest. AC. Mr. already hit the low alarm. Bitcoin selling off. So that means our ETH. Yeah, I said 5-minute high on ETH. So that'd be over. Let's just do over 2301. Amber, wow, VeriSign made a new low, good. Hood, low alarm, we got a call spread on that. Yeah, all horsemen turn red candlesticks, so under the open. Hey, remember I got a set of Mick break even? Wow, look at that decision. Got us out break even when it just wasn't doing anything and the broader markets were weakening and our stop was under this WRB, so it would have stopped out at full loss. Google, yeah, yeah, looks better. And you got resistance to that, but it's a sideways consolidation at the 50 and bullish weekly. Meta's weak, Netflix weak. Ooh, Netflix, a new. See, now that's a good example of bearish consolidation and a downtrend with bearish price action. See that? Look, AMD, we're not going to get any juice. All right, our VeriSign looking better now.
See that gap up in NGR?
NG,
NRG, I should say.
yeah, that's exactly what I mentioned on Wednesday. I said this kind of had the potential. It could turn into a 1, 2, 3, I mean, a measured move. Net alarm.
Everything's dropping except for NASDAQ.
Net 205, 210.
Diamonds are on significant support on a 65-minute here.
We got to cancel net. That spreads are ludicrous. Raven. Yeah, yeah, looks good. You know, if you're going for the big gain, I would give it a bigger stop. Don't go all in, but it's not a quality buy setup. But again, if you're using the daily to enter bigger time frame, then yes, I like it. All right, Amba looks great. for a put spread. Four directional. 72.50 today is 0 by 75. Spreads are nuts. Spreads, man. CNC, we're trail stopping out of. ETHA is triggering put spread. CNC, yeah, we're in CNC trail stopping. We have a third left. VeriSign, ooh, and VeriSign PayPal, we're short both. They're tanking. We're gonna stop break even now. First. PayPal dog made a new low. We added on Wednesday. That one was dead money for a long time. We stuck with it. Microsoft new low.
Apple's near the high of the day. Well, not high, not where it opened, but closes like this, it could be going long.
AC finally cracked. Oh, so a couple of our nice shorts are finally cracking. Nice PayPal. We have call spread and and short. Apple. Yeah, too bad he doesn't have premium anymore. This AMD took off. Let's watch a pullback for a put spread. It's W whiskey. Yeah, gap and go messed it up. Yeah, Apple, Amazon flying, and Google. Wow. Wow, this is very interesting divergence in things today. Like they're all moving big time on the 15, but half are up, half are down. Very strange to me. Nvidia's moving. Hey, there's a nice 180. SMH I mentioned put spread, but shoot, the gap and go. Wow, look, got semis all happy today. Until I don't like the entry here or the pattern. MKR. I liked AMD better, Nvidia better, SMH better. I like semis, but I just didn't like that. I don't like Intel here. This year, it's just extended on the 15, but yeah, made the turn. Watch pullback. Down short. Yeah, 30-minute low would be better. I remember checking calls on Wednesday. There was nothing. Yeah, well, it does be better if it closes like this. Oh, Diamonds IWM are 5-minute, looks identical. Our Amazon dripping. Yeah, yeah, you're chasing a little, which we got in around 840. But yeah, yeah, it looks a little similar to this AMKR. Yeah, chasing a little, but yeah, looks very similar. Going sideways and little breakdown failure. Yeah, so yeah, it's a great pattern for it. Steve, yeah, I like the pattern for it. Sure, sure. Amazon triggered very nicely. 5 minute high, 233.36. Yeah, I said it was fine. 30-minute low would be better, but yeah. Back to 15. LIF is good to go on Wednesday's low. Yeah, Q's holding well here. Yeah, very strange. Oh, Alex, I know why. I know why Alex is why Apple's ripping. That's because Trump halted tariffs on furniture. You know how many desks Apple has to buy every year? So that helps their bottom line. The bar, dead money. Pearl or stop. 197.88. eBay, I already have the stop, but that's an ad over these highs next week. Oh, Doppel, dead money. KC looks great finally. Oh, that's just hit our target. That's why my alarm went off. Our 1/3 target just went off. BST stopped. I knew this one. All right, cool. MU, yeah, the storage sector is up one of the most of the entire year. Oh, I didn't even know they had a semiconductor unit. Uh, 15.